Yes, welcome back. It's still the Bumper Breakfast Show. I'm Yeko Kenny. We have RonkePosh. And
yeah.
I particularly love the name.
You've been talking about our name.
Good morning, RonkePosh.
Good morning, Ronke.
Good morning, everyone.
I particularly love your name because
my colleague here told me say
I'm crazy about that your name, the posh part of it. It makes it makes it feel like, you know what, I'm posh, I'm polished,
and I tell you,
I'm polished, I'm virtuous. I can pick a lot from it.
I can tell you that.
So I hope you're going to be giving us all of the posh ideas this morning about this online thing.
Yes, we have RonkePosh Adeni on the line this morning with us. She is the director of RonkePosh School here in Lagos, and this morning we were talking about all the schools embracing the method of online teaching, and some of the schools, they have even said that third term has resumed.
Oh, started already.
Already.
Maybe the assignments we've been doing is our exam, stylishly.
Whereby a lot of schools cannot even get their feet on how to even go about it. Now, with all the online teaching, all the online schools, involving parents right now, and data involved, let me hear your own take about this first.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Okay. So regarding the online schooling, we have a direction from the Lagos State government that it's not officially the third term. So schools are still engaging pupils, students based on the agreement they have with the parents. This is not against what Lagos State has said. They just said it's not officially the third term. So say for example in our school, we piloted straight after the closure on the 20th of March.
Okay.
So we still engage the children to be able to test systems and know processes and know what exactly it is that we're going to implement come resumption. So
okay.
I know that not every school was able to test. I know that not every school has the know-how or the foresight, call it whatever, and are not able to do it yet. It's not too late to learn how to do it and test how to do it. As long as we work together with the parents and the school at a very reasonable pace, it is very workable. My daughter's school as well, it's working at RonkePosh School, it's working at Green Spring School, and there's kind of disappointment that is third term hasn't commenced. Whilst the argument is that public schools are going to be left behind, they have been left behind for a long time. We are just pretending now because it's biting everybody right now. But we must understand that our children are competing globally. They're not local champions. They are competing globally. And as many of them as we can get into the third term, the better.
Oh, now I want to bring you back to this online school, online teaching. You know that like a couple of my friends, they have said that they have to be involved with the children while they are having their class or probably their assignments and all that. What happens to a mom like myself that I have to work? I'm not at home. My daughter has to be in
online class.
Online class. Now, have you taken into consideration parents like those of us that we have to work?
Yes, I'm a working parent as well. So I sit on the position of an educator and also as a parent. So what I did and what we did at RonkePosh School is to be flexible. We have parents that have 3 children. It can't be hard and fast right now because we are actually in unprecedented times. We're doing things that we've not done before. So we have to be flexible. We cannot be rigid. My preschoolers, for example, so the older children, my daughter is 14, she doesn't need me as much. The preschoolers need their parents. So if they're handing in their work at 6, 7 o'clock in the evening after the parents have time, I don't think it's time for us to start saying your homework is late or things like that. Flexibility is key. The most flexible controls the system.
Okay, you're talking about the assignments now. The teaching itself, probably
how effective?
How effective
is it? You know, I listen to. Let me give you a perfect example.
Someone is talking?
Yes, Ronke. Let me give you a perfect example.
Can you hear Tommy sing?
Very faint.
Okay, let me give you a perfect example here, Ronke. My son was sent, some classes yesterday, and there were video classes there. where his teacher was trying to explain, you know, she did the singing and all of that. Now, for this young 4-year-old, it looked to him like he was watching a movie. All he could say was, "Oh, Mrs. Ojo," which is his auntie, you know. He could point at it, he could say, "Oh, this is a," so he could sing along with it. Yes, I get that it was a bit engaging, but it was like a movie. Now, he didn't get relating that to the fact that he's been doing online tests, he's been doing online assignments. You know, we give him the tab, he's always doing his assignments on the tab. He's been doing all of that before. But now, communicating via the phone, real life class, and then I now hear that he has to now do what the teacher did, and then we do the video and then send it back. For me, isn't this cumbersome? Isn't it a cumbersome system? Why not just stick to what we have always known?
Did you get her?
I didn't quite understand. You're calling it cumbersome because the teacher requested the feedback, or what is it? I don't have clarity.
Now, this is why I mean that isn't it a bit cumbersome? Now, we've talked about working parents. We've talked about having other kids. Yes. How possible would it be for me to now take a video, now sit down after the teacher is done doing her own? We're still going to do the writing class, you know. I'm now going to do a video of my son doing exactly what the teacher said he should do. Send it, 1. 2, I now have to do the written part of the class as well. Most times I have to either get a printer or I have to copy out the assignment from the tab, have him duplicate it on the paper. Then when it's done, I have to now convert it to PDF and then send back. Now, I'm looking at all of these processes. I'm saying, isn't it education made cumbersome rather than education made easy?
I think it's the mode of delivery that is cumbersome, not that the actual online learning is cumbersome. So my daughter does not do PDF. We don't do PDFs at RonkePosh, for example. You should give the feedback. We have an online portal.
Okay.
Documents instantly. We don't want it to be a cumbersome job. For a 4-year-old child, it should be fun. The mode of delivery is what is cumbersome at the moment. And if you can give the feedback to the school, that is actually very onerous on you, and they should be flexible with you. Because I am actually dealing 4-year-old myself at RonkePosh, and it's the mode of delivery. We make it as interactive as possible, as fun as possible, and we give the flexibility of time.
Now, the private schools in Lagos, now we are the ones pioneering this, Lagos, online classes. My challenge is majority of them are not even trained to use this online mode, which is what makes the system and the mode of delivery a bit cumbersome. Now it looks as if this is what is in vogue. Everybody's jumping on it. How effective would it be? Are they meant to be learning along the way, or are they meant to first of all learn, get it?
The thing is, there's nothing that is perfection. Even if we have a year, there's no perfection when it comes to teaching somebody. You continue to grow with the systems. And it's not Lagos State only. I've spoken to people in the United States of America. I've spoken to people in the United Kingdom. The same is going on.
No, we're talking about Nigeria now.
No, I'm saying it's worldwide. That we are all learning. This is a crisis. And nobody was prepared for it. All businesses, it's not exclusive to the educational sector, have had to upskill in one capacity or the other, upskill staff in one capacity or the other. Sitting down and twiddling our thumbs, waiting for perfection, is just going to keep us further behind the rest of the world.
Okay, now let's move away from all the learning and let's talk about the parents. We know that a lot of parents are facing so many challenges at this point in time, financial, most especially now. Now, as a parent, I try to economize my data. I do
1.5 gig in a month.
And I cannot, I find out because money is not coming in as it used to. Now, I don't even have enough for my own data to do 1 or 2 things probably at work also, and you still want me to do the data thing,
buy data for this purpose.
Exactly. And I realized that some of the schools you have to pay some amount before your child can be logged in onto the portal or something.
Onto the app,
yes. So at the schools, are you thinking about this? Are you putting the parents into consideration at this point in time, considering the cost effectiveness?
Everyone is being put into consideration. There's still a cost to even deliver the lessons. It's a difficult time for everybody. So when you say parents, I need you to understand that even I as an educator and the teachers as well, they are all, mostly all parents as well. And they are facing this in one capacity or the other. It's not easy on anybody. It is not exclusive to parents alone. It is everybody that is facing this thing. And it's everybody that is incurring costs. For teachers, let me speak for ours, for example. They've given up their holiday so that they can use that time for training and they can use that time for the pilots. Sleepless nights. I've hardly had 5 hours straight sleep in the last 5-6 weeks since the lockdown because of one thing or the other. So people are paying a lot of money in a lot of cost, whether all be financial or otherwise. Money is being spent, time is being spent, effort is being spent. It's not easy. As much as we can, we will be flexible with the parents. It's not a war. We are still one team working in the best interest of the children. If people see that it's not a war of schools against parents, then things will be seamless. I called my daughter's school, a shout out to Green Springs. I called them yesterday to say they are doing a good job. I understand that some parents are angry and setting on WhatsApp group and things like that, but no. There are some of us that are standing, not because we are rich, but we want our children to come back to a good school, not a school that is closed. We want them to come back to a good school that has good facilities.
Let me cut your thought a bit there. You talk about schools in Lekki, schools in Bagada, all the big schools. Ronke, I live in Mushi.
No, I didn't talk about big schools. I talked about one school.
Oh, I'm trying to
look at the environment.
The environment. Yes, I live in Mushi. Now we have some good private schools in
that
Mushi.
area,
and let me speak for the layman in Mushi now. The layman in Mushi that has just tried to take our child to one of the best schools, so to speak, quote and unquote, in our environment. Probably she doesn't even have an Android phone, but all she is doing is to give our child the best education
that she can afford.
Now, the school in Mushi comes up with online blah and blah and blah and blah. She does not even have
the capacity
to do all that. All this. What happens?
The thing is, when we say online, we must not assume that every school must use Zoom and every school must use WhatsApp and every school must use one thing or the other.
Okay.
That is, it can be a telephone call to give the child activities.
Oh.
It doesn't have to be all fancy. Please, let's also be flexible.
Oh,
when we are saying online schooling, we're not saying that you are using Skype, you are using customized portals and all whatnot. No. Be as flexible as possible. Page 1.
Wow.
Shaking it.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
It is okay. Let's not pretend. Let's be flexible. At this point in time, let us be flexible, and it is very workable.
Okay. Now, if I can get you, if I can get you now, which means technically we are not starting up new topics. We are not starting up new curriculum, as in new curriculum or something. We're still going through probably some of the things that we had learned in the past before the school closed. But the motive here is that learning should continue, not that we are necessarily doing a new,
in my son's school they're doing a new thing.
No, I want to get Ronke here. Ronke, did you get my question?
You didn't finish it.
Not that
learning has to continue. Yes, I got that.
Yes, not that we are literally doing
new topics,
new curriculum and all that. But is it that the motive here is just that the brain should still be engaged? Or not that there's, because if you give me a phone call to say that okay, Dupe should read page 1 and page 2 blah and blah, if it is a new topic that Dupe would need help with, and I have to go to work, like I'm at work today, probably I have to work up until probably late or something, and I'm not there to do the teacher's job.
Or I don't even have the capacity.
Or I don't even have the capacity.
Or I'm not even learned enough to be able to
exactly,
do that.
I'm not even learned enough to even teach Dupe, but I want Dupe to still go to school. But are we now saying that they are not necessarily new topics, they are not necessarily new curriculum? What we're talking about is just that the brain should be active, learning should still continue. Is that what we're talking about here?
That is possibly what is out there. It is not my own recommendation.
Okay.
And the reason why it's not my own recommendation is because I think globally.
Okay.
I want my child to be able to compete with the child around the world.
Okay.
I want them to be able to have intellectual conversations and not say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about because we did not resume for 6 months.
Okay.
Our third term didn't start in time.
Okay.
That is my desire.
Okay.
So I desire that we kick and forge ahead, nonetheless, because saying that we are revising second term work and everything, it's not really adding much more value at the same time. But it's better than doing nothing.
Okay.
Now, I totally agree with you that learning should continue, like you just said. Learning should continue. Example, my children have been doing the same kind of topics. First of all, it looks like a brush of what they had done, and then introduction of new topics had come in. Because I monitor even from work, I'm able to see that, oh, they've brought in new topics and all of that, and that's why the teacher possibly came up with the video lessons to try to teach it. But what I'm looking at here are children who do not even have the capacity or do not go to schools where this is done or can be done. Now we have so many, more than 3,000 private schools in Lagos. Just about 20% of that have the capacity to achieve what we're talking about here. Majority of them are under the bridge, under the kind of private schools.
Exactly.
Some of them really posh, some of them really trying, but majority of them cannot measure up. Those kind of children, what would be your professional recommendation to keep them engaged at a time like this? Don't forget that those kind of schools are also very cheap. So the proprietors may not be able to buy airtime to make those phone calls you're talking about.
Good. As much as we can. I know that everybody is gearing towards, oh, how about people that can't afford it? But why is it now that they're thinking about those people?
Better late than never.
Not to say they shouldn't think about them. But if they were thought about, then we wouldn't be in this situation in the first place.
But this is our reality.
Hang on, let me finish.
Okay.
The reason it's biting everybody now. Even people that are not necessarily have their children in public school is now biting everybody, and that is the reason why we are pretending to care. And I'm generous. Hang on, because if it wasn't biting everybody in the private sector, they would still not care about the public sector, because those children have not had socks and food and lunch and books and clothing for a long time. They've been left alone for a long time. But all of a sudden, we want them to go online. What happened in the last 5, 10 years, 20, 30 years, that some of our students are even mothers in school because there's delay and closure. The issue did not start today. So the sooner the government step in and start intervening, feeding people first, and then getting them education. There are deprived areas in countries around the world where they don't have technology, that they borrow them phones to use. They borrow and give them loans for laptops for them to use. Some of them even drop learning packs. At certain times, you go and pick up learning packs and lunch. So there are things that the government needs to step up and do. And the private sector has actually taken the country and advanced the country in many ways, but now we're seen as the enemy.
Now, looking at that, what you just said, now we've looked at government. I'm looking at what about the private sector? Churches are giving, individuals are giving. What about the big private schools? Why are they not? Because I'm looking at a situation where I know some schools in Lagos, for example, are richer than universities. One of them is the one you mentioned earlier, and you gave kudos to them. I also love the school, fantastic. The woman is doing a lot of giveaway or give back. She's training younger people. She's mentoring a lot of proprietors who want to do the same business that she does. Fantastic. But what about giving back? Now, the Lagos State government is trying to do online lessons or radio lessons and radio lessons for kids.
And TV.
And TV for kids. Now, they're doing a lot of listening, they're watching. The private schools have the capacity, you know, to extend their tentacles to children that they obviously cannot afford to bring into their system at a time like this. But I don't get why they don't think about that. It's all about our kids, the ones we're raising, the ones we're collecting money from their parents. Why is that mentality very prevalent?
Well, maybe in your sector, I will not use it as a blanket statement, because it's the first I've heard that private, even before the COVID, no schools adopt other schools. I know an organization that comes to collect old books from us, even old books, old textbooks. So I'm not even talking about post-COVID now or during this crisis. So I would say it's a blanket statement that private schools are not supporting.
Okay.
I can't speak for every school, but I know that there are schools that actually step up and help in the society.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ronke. It's a pleasure to have
really
you.
Posh.
She's really posh.
So
She's really posh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Happy lockdown, and hope you're keeping safe.
Yes, I will keep safe.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being our guest.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, so it's been an interesting conversation this morning with RonkePosh. She's the proprietress of one of the big schools in Lagos, and she's an educationist. You heard her perspective to that. You know, I didn't quite think about calling to make a phone call to give instructions as to engage the child. She came up with that, and it's beautiful. But we take this quick break. It's community report segment on the Bumper Breakfast, and it's about you, how you've been coping with the lockdown, and what you can wait to do at the end of it all. We'll be back.